How to value a business when you're seeking to sell your business. In this video, I'll be laying out some of the mathematical principles when you are seeking to value your business as a business owner, or if you're a business broker, M&A advisor, looking to learn how to value a business. So why should you listen to me when it comes down to business valuations? Number one, I'm a multi-business owner in which I've acquired and started businesses. So I understand the process in and out. And more importantly, I'm an M&A advisor. And over the years, I've worked with over 40 business exit processes to get sellers exited from their business. So essentially, I know what I'm talking about. Now, I started this off by saying the mathematical elements of valuing your business. And that's because when you are valuing your business, there's so many different factors which go into the overall valuation of a business. And the mathematical element is actually the part that can be taught easily and can be taught, and you can do it as a business owner. So if you're a business owner watching this video thinking, how do I value my business? I want to sell my business. How do I do this? Then you can use the elements of this video to actually have a starting valuation. So I call it a starting valuation of your business. Now, if you're a business owner, I would always advise you to get professional advice from a reputable business broker or an M&A advisor to get a good valuation for your business. Now, if you want to work with me, I've got a link in the description. Either you can download the checklist or get the coaching. The coaching is the in-depth advice on how to prepare your business for sale to increase the valuation and the likelihood of selling your business, getting it to completion in a easy to understand format, handheld, so you can get a fantastic exit for yourself. But in any case, what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to head over to the board and go over the elements on how to value your business as a starting valuation, the mathematical element of your valuation. So along with the mathematical elements of the valuation, there's also like an artistic element. So the art of the deal, on how you can bring the mathematical element and also the art side of valuations together to have an overall good picture. Because you can have two businesses which operate in the same sector, the same industry, they have the same revenue, maybe they're even in the same location, meaning the same geographical area, serving the same clients. However, one is more valuable than the other. Why is that? The mathematical elements of that business may be exactly the same. However, one is worth more than the other. Why? Because the art of the deal side of the valuations. So let's head over to the board now to go over the mathematical elements so you can get the starting valuation of your business. Right, so let's get started with the mathematical valuation. So this is the mathematical element of your valuation in which you can do as a business owner to identify a starter valuation for your business. So I've got another video which talks about EBITDA on how to work out your EBITDA, but everything starts from the EBITDA figure, which stands for earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So we're going to use E in this equation as an EBITDA figure. So in this example, we're going to give an example of 500,000. So your business, let's say for argument's sake, is doing 500,000 in EBITDA. So what do we do with this figure now that we have that? The first thing we need to do is we need to add back certain elements to your value, to your EBITDA figure. I've got another video which also talks about add backs, but add backs basically means things that can be added back to increase the EBITDA figure only for the purposes of valuation. So your EBITDA figure, if you're in finance, you're not going to be changing that. However, if you're looking to sell your business, then there could be things that are added back that can increase the EBITDA figure. So we're going to take a couple of examples. So this is add backs, remember, yes? So add backs. And we'll take two examples only. And again, these are going to be completely made up. I'm not saying they have any basis in reality, but in terms of the figures I'm talking about, but what can be added back. So one thing which can be added back is a pension. So this is a director's pension. Directors normally take pensions from the business, which comes out of their P&L, comes out of their overall profitability. It's an allowable expense by law in which the owner can put that in their private pension pot. So currently in the UK, the pension allowance that a business owner can take out without it having any tax paid on it is 60,000. So we're going to say that this business owner is taking the full allowance of 60,000 from their business as an allowable expense. So what happens is that this 60,000, we're going to leave it here for now, but it will be something that is added back to the EBITDA. Another allowable expense in the UK, for example, that is exclusively for the owners, I should say. So it could be private healthcare. So let's say private, it's going to put HC for healthcare. And I'm not going to say that it's going to cost this much. I'm just trying to make the numbers easy here. Say it's 40,000 because 60 plus 40 is 100. So it's nice and easy to add back. So now you've got private healthcare, which as owners, let's say there's 2 owners or 3 owners or 4 owners, and it comes out to 40,000 per annum, which is an allowable expense by law. You can only add back things which are allowable by law and specifically for the benefit of the owners, nothing to do with the business. That doesn't affect the business in any particular way or any way at all, in fact. So now we have 60 plus 40 is 100,000. So we have this figure in which we can add back to the EBITDA. So where this EBITDA was originally 500,000, now the new EBITDA is 600,000. Yeah, so we're going to put this as new EBITDA, right? New EBITDA is 600,000. So we're going to cross out this 500,000 and we're going to use 600,000 as a new EBITDA for the purposes of valuation. So if you thought that you're going to use your net profit, that's incorrect. If you thought you're going to use your operating profit, that's incorrect. And some owners actually think that they can use their revenue, which I don't know where they get that from. Actually, there is a case for that. When you're a startup or something, you're pre-profit, then you can use revenue as a indicator for valuation, but that's not for the purposes. If you're watching this video, you're a business owner which is profitable and not pre-profit, yes, or not a startup. So then this applies to you. So your new EBITDA is 600,000. So now that you've got this figure, what do we do with this figure that we've got 600,000? So the next thing that needs to be done is to add a multiple or multiply this figure by a multiple. Now, before we get to that, in fact, there's one thing that I need to add here, especially with small businesses. So small businesses are normally between 1 million and 10 million. Anything above that is usually classified as a medium-sized business. So for small business purposes, what I normally see is that owners blur the lines between personal expenses and business expenses. What you need to do is that you need to put everything which is a business expense in the business and anything which is a personal expense not allowable by law. Remember, these are allowable by law, so you can add them, keep them in the P&L, keep them for the purposes of valuation. But anything that doesn't fall into the allowable by law, strictly I'm talking about here, you need to separate them to ensure that you get an accurate figure, a completely accurate figure of what your EBITDA is going to be. So that's something that you need to do. Coming back to the multiple. So what do I mean by a multiple? So a multiple needs to be applied to your business for the purposes of valuation. So who identifies what a multiple is? This is really where you need a good, experienced, professional business broker or M&A advisor who can advise you as to what multiple is going to be applied. And so many different factors go into why a multiple is being applied. So let's go into it as a baseline understanding. Right, if you have a business which is doing less than 1 million in revenue, by the way, then your multiple, so we'll put multiple here, your multiple is going to be between 1 and 3x. Anyone who tells you, I'm just going to draw a line here, yes? So anyone who tells you that your multiple is more than 3x and your business revenue and profit, so your revenue is below 1 million and your profit is like less than 100,000, they're trying to trick you, right? There's no way no business buyer, acquirer is going to pay more than that for your business. Okay, 1 to 3x, which means if your business's EBITDA is, well, it's not going to be 600,000, but let's just use this as an example. If your business EBITDA, no, let's not use this. Your business is less than 1 million in revenue. So your profitability is something like 50,000. Yes. If a one-time multiple is applied, your business valuation is 50,000. If a 3x multiple is applied, your business valuation is 150,000, right? So micro businesses, anything less than 1 million in revenue is that kind of multiple. Yes. If, for example, your business is doing between 1 million, this one, between 1 million and 10 million in revenue, and actually revenue doesn't apply when it comes down to valuations. Revenue does not apply. It's about profitability. So the reason why I'm using revenue is because it's easy for you to identify what your business is doing as a revenue. You need to have at least a 10% profit margin or something like that. Yes, at least a 10% profit margin, because the profit margins also have an impact on what kind of valuation or multiple your business can use. So we've got businesses, a small business now. So these are micro businesses, the small businesses. Then generally a 2 to 4 times multiple can be applied. Yes. So who decides this? Again, it's market conditions and so many other factors. So let's not go into that. I'll give you averages in a minute once we've done more examples. Now, if your business is doing more than 10 million in revenue and with a good profit margin, so 10 million to let's say my personal experience drops off at about 100 million. So, but I do know that there are M&A advisors who work up to about 250 million with the same principles. So let's say 250 million. Then your business can normally achieve something between 3 and 10x. So by the way, we say x, right? So between 3 and 10x. That's a big range, right? Again, so you have to look at your revenue, your profitability. You have to have good profit margins here, by the way, at least 10%. If your profit margins dip below, you're looking at the lower end of all of this. Below 10%, that is. And if it's above 10%, then you're looking at towards the higher end. Not always the case, but it can be. So 1x, 1 to 3x, 2 to 4x, 3 to 10x. There are cases, now we're not going to use the extraordinary examples here. There are cases where your business can achieve more than 10x as a multiple. But there's, again, other factors. And it's not common, so that's why we're going to keep it here as 3 to 10x. So 10 million to 250 million. So that's the kind of multiples that you can apply. So let's take an example back here. Where's the board marker? There it is. Let's get rid of all of this. So I'm just going to get rid of that. We're going to use 600,000. 600,000. Let's just use this. 600,000 as the EBITDA figure that we're working out. Okay. So it's no longer new EBITDA. It's the EBITDA that we're using. 600,000 multiplied by. Let's take a couple of examples, because if your business is doing 600,000 as the EBITDA, you're probably doing around about 5 million in revenue at the very least. Yes. So let's do a 2 times multiple here. If you're going to do times 2, then your business's valuation is 1.2 million. Okay, whether it's pounds, whether it's dollars, what's the euro sign? I think that's the euro sign. Yeah, whatever it is, 1.2 million at 600,000 if you're applying a 2 times multiple. And again, this is decided by business brokers based on evidence. You need to, and this is super important. Remember I said that some business owners or business brokers, they apply multiples which are picked out of thin air. You always need to question the business broker, the M&A advisor. Why are you only applying a 2 times multiple to my business? Why are you applying, if they're applying a 10 times multiple, for example, why are you applying a 10 times multiple to my business? There has to be a reason. There has to be reasons, as to why, not one reason. There's be multiple reasons as to why a particular multiple is being applied to your business. To give you an example, I've seen an instance where, or in many instances, by the way, not just one, but this is the most extreme one that I saw, is that, and by the way, I see this a lot, especially with the low-end business brokers, high street business brokers. With them, there was a business that was doing 25,000 in profit. The EBITDA figure was 25,000. So in fact, the net profit was even lower. The EBITDA was 25,000 and they valued their business at 250,000, which means a 10x multiple. I don't know which world these guys are living in and how a business which is only achieving 25,000 in profit is worth 250,000. That's just the living in, dreamland, fantasy island, cuckoo land, whatever you want to call it. So that's why you always need to question as to why a multiple is being applied. But here we're talking about you. How do you work out your multiple? Anyway, let's just give another example at 600,000. So let's say A 10 times multiple as an extreme example, another extreme example is being used, 10 times multiple. You can see that that business's valuation goes to 6 million, a huge difference. The difference that it can make you as a business owner, as an individual, once you're selling your business, 6 million versus 1.2 million. That's 4.8 million difference in the price that could be achieved for your business, for your valuation. Again, this is examples that you need to, why is this being applied? So what do you do? In fact, before we get to what do you do, if your business, for example, is doing in the millions, then you can use, in profit, I'm talking about profit, then you can use these multipliers here. So let's say, for example, your EBITDA is, let's say your business's EBITDA is 2.5 million. 2.5 million. Yeah, you're probably doing 25 million in revenue at the very least. Yeah, it could be if you've got good margins and you're doing less than that. And let's say, for example, a 4 times multiple is applied. A 4 times multiple. You can get 10 million for your business. Yeah, could be 10 million for your business. So this is what you need to do as an exercise. Now, what do you do if you want to work out what your multiple is? If you're falling within these ranges, your business is doing less than 1 million in revenue and less than 100,000 in profit, I say you apply a 2x. Okay, you apply a 2x. You get your average. If you're doing business is doing between 1 million and 10 million, then you apply a 3x. Okay, and if your business is doing between 10 million and 250 million, then you can apply you apply two multiples here, a 4x or an 8x. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. Now, what do you need to do? Why is it 1x or to 3x? The main principle is, I'll give you this principle, is that the more the business relies on you as a business owner or the owners or anyone who's directly connected to the owners, like family members, the lower the multiple. It doesn't matter which range your business is in, whether you've got a micro business, a small business, or a medium-sized business. If it relies on you, you need to take it back to the lower end of the valuation. If it doesn't rely on you at all, you're a shareholder, then you can take it up to the highest. In fact, if you're a shareholder, you can use, especially for micro and small businesses, you can use the higher multiple. When it comes down to medium-sized businesses, there's more factors that go into that. So you can't use the highest anyway. In fact, 10x is not usual. 8x is the usual. That's why I said 4x or 8x. The reason why you get 9x, 10x businesses, 11x, 12x businesses is normally the industry. So if you've got tech or if you've got healthcare, these industries will attract an 8x multiple plus, yeah, plus 8x multiple, a higher multiple than 8x. So you're talking about 9x, 10x, you can achieve them when it comes down to these industries. If you've got software, it goes even higher than that. So if you're in tech, healthcare, those really growing demand, high demand industries, AI, super hot. I've not dealt with any AI businesses, but I can tell you right now, the AI businesses are attracting massive multiples. We're talking like 15x, that kind of range. So, and even more than that, by the way. So that's how you apply a valuation to your business. Again, if you want to find out how to apply a valuation to your business properly, you need to get the correct coaching. So I advise you click the link in the description, get onto a coaching sessions with me, get onto coaching. And even if you don't do that, by the way, make sure that whoever your business broker is or your M&A advisor is, that they know how to do a valuation properly. And these are the principles that you can apply. Anyone who tells you anything different is pie in the sky, especially unethical brokers in micro business range. Just forget about it. I mean, the amount of crap which they talk is unbelievable. They try and justify all sorts of valuations at that range. Anyway, click the link in the description, get the coaching. If you want to get the checklist to check through the business buying process, business selling process, then you can do that and ensure that you get a successful exit.